Half the time I'm like, okay, gotta adjust myself now.
Hi everyone. Today I have a friend with me.
I'm Bonnie.
Why are you here today?
I'm here because you altered the dress for me.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And what did you need altered?
The main thing was that it fell too low, so it was like there was way too much space in the shoulders.
So this whole area needed to be lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be appropriate.
Are necklines usually too low on you? Like, what's your biggest
They usually
problem?
are, especially in dresses. Yeah, I've had so many dresses where I refuse to not wear them because I like them, or I like the color, I like the style. But half the time I'm like, okay, gotta adjust myself now. Yeah, I like V-necks, but they never work. My normal reaction is, oh, guess I can't wear it. But I was excited to see that even though I like the dress, it could do something.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have that problem too, where they're like, there's just a lot of space up here, then I'll teach you how to fix that in this tutorial.
Cut off the sleeves. Cut off as little as you can from the actual dress. It's okay to cut off a bit more from the sleeve. Then measure and draw a new top seam. I made mine an inch lower than the original seam, which is a good starting place. Pin these together, being extra careful at the ends, making sure that the front and the back of the dress meet at the same point. Now you're going to baste on the line, and if you're like, what is basting? It just means you make some really messy, long, loose stitches. And the only purpose of that is so you can take off the pins and try wearing it to see if it fits how you would like. Time to test it. So wear the dress on yourself and make sure the neckline is as low as you would want. Then check the back. You want to make sure it hasn't come up too high like this. If that's the case, you'll need to lower the curve. If it's good, however, skip all the way to step 4. So this step is only if the back is too high. If it is, you're going to have to lower it. So draw a lower curve as shown. Then fold it in half and cut in between this line that you drew and the top hem. But then you're going to pin this to your dress. So when you pin it, make sure that you're keeping the pins as close as possible to that top hem, which is the nice little finished folded over part on the top. So keep it as close as possible to that top hem and the line that you drew in chalk. Now you're going to lower the armpit curve. So since I raised my neckline by 1 inch, I'm going to measure 1 inch under the armpits and mark those new points. Then I connect these points to the armpit curve with curved lines as shown. And do this on the back as well. Now we're going to cut this away, leaving a 1/2 inch of excess around the chalked lines, and then reattach this to the sleeves. When I pin, I like to start with that bottommost seam so I can make sure the sleeve seam and the dresses seam are aligned. And I do the exact same thing on the very top. Once I have those, then I do the middle, right in the middle of those 2 points. And then, you just keep going. So then you do the fourths, and then, you do the eighths if you need to. Repeat this on the back and the other sleeve. Cut away the excess at the top seam, leaving about a 1/2 inch of extra space, and then sew on all the lines where you have pins. So this should be the top seam, sleeves, and possibly also the back of the neckline. Now you can hand sew this, you can use a sewing machine, do whatever you want, but I'm just going to show you how to hand sew it so that you beginner sewers can have an example. So I'm, taking the needle and threading it through so that it's right exactly where I put the chalk line. And so instead of going, just weaving through forward, I come backwards just a little bit for every stitch, and this keeps it extra secure. You're just going to be very careful about how you go through, from the front of the dress to the back. Be extra careful that you have everything aligned at the seams, and then just keep continuing how you did before. Now at the very end, you're going to tie a couple of sturdy knots, like 4 or 5, and then cut it off with scissors. Repeat this on all the seams and you're done.
Like if you like this video, subscribe if you want more do-it-yourself fashion and tips, and comment below on if you empathize with Bonnie's problems, if that happens to you. And I will see you next time. Bye! Bye.